Patreon page. Well, I guess I thought I would give a little talk about, I don't know, affirmations. Because I have done a lot of studying, and of course, I've read self-help books. I've gone to workshops. I've taken classes. I've listened to people talk ad nauseum. I listen to Abraham Hicks material all the time. I have listened to Abraham Hicks material enough to get that it is a lot deeper than just pretending everything is okay. Let's just put it that way. I think that on a surface level, if you want to be dismissive of positive thinking, of the law of attraction, if you'd like to be dismissive of it, then by all means be dismissive of it. But I have looked into it enough and experienced it enough to know that it goes a lot deeper than that. To know that everybody, including Esther Hicks, including all these people that that end up on these pedestals, that they all have bad days. And there are some days when they can't work up a positive thought. But what they have is they know how to shift their focus back to something that feels good. And that's all that's being asked. When you're doing positive affirmations, you're not necessarily being asked to go from 0 to 150 in 2 seconds. You're asked to find a thought that feels better. Find a thought that feels better. So Abraham Hicks came up with something called the emotional guidance scale. Let me get my phone so I can read some of it to you so that you understand. So we'll talk about what it is and what they mean by finding a thought that feels better, or what I mean when I'm saying find a thought that feels better. Let's see. I should have had this all set up, but guess what? I did not know until just a few minutes ago that this is what I was going to talk about, because that's kind of how I roll. Okay, so I'm going to move from the bottom of the emotional guidance scale to the top of the emotional guidance scale. And sometimes you can skip things as long as you're moving up, which the idea of moving up is like not trying to go against the flow, not trying to go against the flow of the river, like trying to paddle upstream, basically emotionally or thought-wise. That's the idea. That's the idea of it. So, number 22 is fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. Everybody gets there. Everybody goes there sometimes. They do. Everybody does. There's no shame in going there. There's no shame in being there. There's no shame in hanging out there for just a little while or longer because you just can't see any way to move up from there. Now, up the emotional guidance scale from that is number 21, which is insecurity, guilt, and unworthiness. So imagine that you're in fear and grief and despair, and when you feel guilty or insecure, you're actually on an upswing. What? But it's true. It's a little lighter. It's a little lighter. And then you can move up to, there's jealousy in number 20. And then hatred and rage is up at 19. So if you go from fear, grief, and depression, and all of a sudden you get pissed off, that's an upswing. I mean, what that might do though, is that might slide you back into guilt, and then you keep moving up and down. I think every single day we move up and down the emotional guidance scale. Let's just keep going. 18 is revenge. 17 is anger. 16 is discouragement. And that can kind of send you down into the despair. But above discouragement is blame. How often do we get into that place of blame? It's easier, it feels easier to blame someone than to be accountable. Worry, it's number 14. I hang out and worry a lot. That's my super friends. And then 13 is doubt. 12 is disappointment. 11 is overwhelmment. And you can see how you can go up and down the scale all the time, even in one day, sometimes in an hour if you're really roller coastery. 10, frustration, irritation, and impatience. So you see that hatred and rage is a little bit down. It's down the emotional scale because it's a kind of more of a deep primal, out of control. But anger gets a little bit more controlled because you've had revenge in between that. But then you go to frustration, irritation, and impatience. This is about this. It's more empowered because you're like, hey, things need to be different. 9 is pessimism. Just, oh, bother. It's not going to work out anyway. How often do we float around in that? Yes, you do. Boredom is up above that. Contentment. Do you like how all of a sudden we get bored and then all of a sudden we're content? And we can slide up and down, but you understand that you're going up the emotional scale. And if you knew the emotional scale, you would know, oh, okay, I'm bored. But that's got to be good because that means I'm not frustrated or impatient anymore. And then there's hopefulness, feeling hopeful. So you go from contentment, which kind of creates some space for you to have some sort of hope. Optimism, that amps up the hope, doesn't it? Like that hopefulness is, well, maybe something good can happen. And then optimism is, yes, something good is coming. And then you go farther to enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness. And 2, passion. And 1 is joy, appreciation, empowered, freedom, and love. So we go up and down this emotional guidance scale all the time. And I highly recommend, I just found this on Pinterest, and I've also read books about it and everything like that too. I highly recommend looking at the emotional guidance scale and checking in every once in a while with where you're at. Because, like I said, after you feel discouraged, going up into blame is actually going up the emotional guidance scale. Going more with the flow than getting back into anger. But there's no shame in any of these. Any of these. So how about that? We just talked about the emotional guidance scale for use with the book by Abraham Hicks, which is called Ask and It Is Given. Now, like I said, with the law of attraction material or The Secret, I think that they initially really focused on The Secret being all about material things. But it was about healing as well, because there was one person in there that had felt like she had healed her cancer with laughter and connection, and um, so there was that in there, but a lot of it was very much about financial gain. And a lot of the people that are making all kinds of financial gain in the law of attraction type of field or genre, as it were, are about that. That's the focus, because people on the planet have would like to survive and would like to thrive, and they don't know how, and they look to gurus and teachers to figure out how to do it. I don't have the answers. I don't even know. I don't even think that they have completely the answers, because they have the answer for them. You will have the answer for you, just like I'm having the answers for me. Not everybody's formula is interchangeable, because we all have different internal motivations and intentions that nobody can see, that that drive us, that push us forward, that push us up and down the emotional guidance scale. So I highly recommend that you check into that, and I'm glad that I got to have a talk with you about that today. I don't talk as much about that kind of thing, but I am going to add that to some more content. And I would really love to see you become a patron, so you can look at those deep dives into the Fairies Oracle cards and my deep dives into the tarot, and instructions on tarot reading that are coming up in the spring. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and let's work our way up the emotional guidance scale. I feel content at this moment.